As of starting this recording, it is 11:13 p.m. and I just want to ask a nice, simple, very, very simple question. It just is a one-word answer. Sarcasm intended. What is love? Is it baby don't hurt me? Is it the butterflies you get in your stomach when you see someone that you love? I mean, even then, you can't explain love without using the word love. I mean, what exactly is love? What is love? And that's what we're going to delve into today. So we're going to do another episode of delving into life itself, trying to figure out what life is. And today, we're going to talk about love. Because from what I've gathered, love can either be extremely amazing or very, very fucked up. So, I guess let's jump right into it. I don't have a script made. And I can't edit with the software that I'm using. So it's going to be unedited. It's going to be like we're live streaming. I'm excited to say I have a new mic here, so hopefully I sound better. It's pretty crappy. It was only like $10, but I like it. So the first thing that I want to get into is at a young age, for me at least, I learned that love is dating everyone as a young kid I'm still young, of course, but in middle school, and like starting in the 5th grade, I got really into dating people, and I didn't really realize that you're supposed to get to know someone before you date them. So I would just date them. I would just say, hey, you wanna date me? And then they would say yes, and that would be that. But so as a young child, you at least, again, this is just personal preference. Like, I'm not saying this is how you are. But for me, being a young child, I really found out about love in a wrong way. I grew up thinking that love was something that it just came to you. You could just ask anyone out, and they would say yes. And going to an all-boys high school now, I kind of figured out what love really is. Or at least what I think it is, because there's not really a good answer. Because if you really think about it, what is love? In all honesty, it's just a chemical reaction that happens in your brain. But that's not just it. Because if that was the only thing that was it wouldn't be real. It would be something that didn't matter, and it does matter. Like, love, it's everything. For instance, I just had to give up my dog. And I loved her. Without even understanding what love was, I could have told you 100% that I loved her. And when I had to do that, and just a couple of other things that have happened recently, like a breakup, like family problems, it all kind of comes down to what is love. And I don't think love is something that you don't just know what love is. Love is based on how you interpret it. So for me, as of right now, love sucks. Because for me, it's become something where if you start to love someone, and you put so much time into loving someone and making you theirs, or showing them how much you love them, and then almost instantly, it could just be gone like that. Just boom. Done. And to me, love's kind of scary. To kind of think that dating someone is as far as I've gone. Obviously, I'm not getting married. I'm not getting married anytime soon. I can't even get married right now because I don't have anyone to marry. But just thinking about that, if you're in a relationship for a year, 2 years, and you break it off, I don't want to say that's a waste of your life, and I don't believe that, because the relationships I've been in, I'll always hold them in my heart. And not only that, but some relationships I've started with people, whether they were friends or girlfriends or whatever, they're still going today. So I'm not saying it's a waste, but sometimes it almost feels like in the beginning, it feels like a waste. It feels like, why did I do this? Why did I put so much time into this? And I'm not trying to say dating's wrong, because from experience, it's one of the most amazing things that I've ever been through. Being able to date someone, show someone that you love them, or being able to have a close friend. I've had a friend, God, I've been friends with him since fourth grade or no, like first grade, and we're still friends today. And love is something that is amazing. I don't know what I would do without those two people in my life, my two best friends. But at the same time, you put all this effort into having someone be your friend, or dating someone, or showing them that you love them. And then it almost seems like sometimes it, I don't want to say it's a waste of time because I don't believe that, but it's almost like, why am I like, you're putting yourself through the torture of falling in love with someone. If you fall in love with someone and you spend all your time with them, and then something abrupt happens, maybe they pass away, or they end up not loving you anymore, or there's some weird family thing, like a lot of people my age, like parents will stop it. Like, that could be really hard. Especially for me, I'm going through that right now. It's really hard. And it's not the stereotypical, and I don't know why, but this is just kind of turning into, like, I wasn't really intending this, but it's kind of turning into, like, breakup advice. I don't really mean that. But I'm just going to go with it. Breakups are not your stereotypical, I'm going to lay in bed, eat ice cream, and cry. That's not you, because you physically can't do that. You can't just lay in bed and forget about life until you find someone else. Because that's not what happens. That's just not how life works. Some people don't cry. Some people can't cry. I don't cry very much, and it's not healthy because, I mean, when you hold everything in and you don't release any of this pressure that builds up inside of you, like the idea of, so the word breakup, or heartbroken, I should say, heartbroken, I 100% understand the feeling. It feels like in your chest or in your gut, there's just this weight, almost. It's like this pain that just won't go away, and it's far worse than any other pain I felt before. I mean, I've literally stabbed a knife straight through my hand, and I would say I'd rather do that than go through a breakup, because you grow so attached to this person, and then all of a sudden it's just, I mean, it's not all of a sudden. A lot of times it's like you fight and you're not happy, and then it makes sense. But even if that's the case, it's still hard. There's never an easy breakup. I mean, for some people there might be, but like, even if I don't, let's just say I didn't like the person I was dating, you can't just say, hey, we're done. Like, you don't just stop like that. And that goes for loving someone. If you put, and this does not just go for dating, this goes for anything. If you just give all your love to someone and you grow attached to them, and all your daily routine is based around them rather than them around your routine, if you build them into your schedule and you get used to constantly doing things on a basis, and then it just stops, that's for anything. If you're used to talking with a friend on the phone every night, and then all of a sudden you're not friends anymore, and for like 4 nights in a row you don't get to text them or call them or anything, it leaves a mark on you. And it's not a physical mark. You can't get a scar from a broken heart. And I don't think broken heart only goes for breakups. I think your heart can be broken by friends. I think your heart can be broken by family. I mean, I've had both. And of course, it can be broken by someone you love, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband, a boyfriend. Whatever you are, whatever you believe in, your heart can be broken. And you can't just dismiss it. And you can't just go and try and forget about it, because it'll just sit with you. It'll sit in the pit of your stomach the longer you ignore it. And even if you don't cry like me, if you don't cry, or you've been grown up not being able to cry, something like that, you find ways of grieving. Or you don't find ways of grieving. For me, it's just a time-based thing. And if you come across this video and you're struggling with something like this, my best advice would be embrace, and this is going to sound weird, embrace it, don't hide it, I mean, cry or suffer. You need to suffer. You can't just act like you're okay because it's only going to make it worse. And being a guy and knowing guys, it's really easy to just act like shrug it off, like, oh, it's nothing, it's fine, I didn't even love you, stuff like that. But it's not good for you. And it's not good for your development as a human, as someone who can take in stress, take in a loss, take in grief, and effectively execute it, and effectively get it out of your life. And I just think, like, love in and of itself is an amazing thing on one end. You have this end where you can get attached to someone, and you can love them, and you can care for them, and they become part of you. And then you have this side of love, that it's like, it eats you alive. It hurts you. The fact of the act of loving someone is so incredibly difficult, and it begs the question: if you are able to make the bond with this person, and then you're hurt at the end of the day, didn't you do that to yourself? And that just acts on human nature, because you need to ask yourself, even though I know that from the past, love can be terrible, and love can hurt you, and love can rip a hole in your heart, are you willing to let that wound heal over and try anew, and try to figure out what you did wrong, fix your mistake, and renew this amazing thing? Or is it easier to just dismiss love? Is it easier to go into a shell and hold yourself in there where no one can get to you? Because for me, I don't know. Because I've done both. I've grown from loss, and I've held grudges and not grown from them. And I don't really know the right answer. I mean, you would want me to say, oh yeah, you want to get over them, you want to forgive the people that hurt you. But is that always healthy? Because then you get onto the topic of getting pushed around and letting people take over you and take over your identity and letting people push you around. Is that really okay? And I don't think it is. I don't think it's okay to, if something bothers you, I think you should fight for it. And end of story. There's no discussing it. If there's some, and I'm not saying kill people, I'm not saying hurt people, but fight for it. Martin Luther King Jr. is the best example of that. He cared about something, and people were pushing him down, saying he couldn't know, he couldn't talk, and he didn't let that stop him. He pushed through it, he pushed through everyone that was in his way, and made a name for himself. And I think in terms of love, that's sometimes what you have to do. I think sometimes you can't always receive love. I think that in terms of that, you need to fight for your love. If you care about something, or if you care about someone, and someone else is trying to get in the way of that, you need to fight for it. Because if you don't fight for it now, in the future it may be gone. I mean, I had a friend recently, and I ended up hurting him, like emotionally, like I believe I said some rude things, and come to find out that before I was able to say I'm sorry, he ended up passing away. And that's something where love, the fact of painful love, the fact of love is good and bad. There's the light and the dark in love. The dark side of love held on to me. I didn't fight for what I wanted. I didn't vocalize what I wanted. And at the end of the day, it makes me feel terrible. Because if I would have embraced it, I would have been able to tell my friend, hey, look, what I did was shitty and I'm sorry. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm done letting people push me around. I'm done letting people decide who I am or what I do or who I love. I just can't anymore. because I care too much. I care too much about myself, and I care too much about the people that I love. And I think that goes for everyone. I think everyone loves someone or something more than anything in the world. And they need 100% to fight for it. But some people don't know how to. If you're raised not being able to embrace love, or if you're raised not able to show love for someone else, then what's really the point of loving? What's the point of giving someone everything that you have and they don't give back? Or what's the point of two people sharing what they love and then being ripped apart by some foreign object or foreign entity or foreign person? That just, I'm sorry, but it's straight up bullshit. It's just that. It's not right. And if you're doing that, shame on you. And if you're fighting against that, I can feel your pain. And my best advice to you would be just tell the people that you love, tell them that you love them. Just tell everyone. Even if, I tell my best friend who's a guy all the time that I love him. It's not weird. And if it's weird, they shouldn't be your friend. Because love is not just based around sex. Love is not just based around, like so many movies these days, it focuses love on like, you love this person, so have sex with them, or you love this person, so, it's fine to look at their body and not their personality. I don't agree with that. I think that you should show your love in every way you can, but it's not just loving someone for their body, it's loving someone for who they are. And you need to tell people in your life that you love them. Because think of it like this. Imagine there's someone you love, and for some unknown reason you're fighting, or you can't talk, or you can't embrace them the way that you used to be able to. If you don't keep them close to you, and they drift away, how would that make you feel? Think about your mom, for example. Think about hurting her, and before you were able to say I love you, everything just went to shit, and she got cancer or something, or, God forbid she doesn't get cancer, but I'm just saying something like along the lines of that. Something tragic happens, and you can't say you're sorry anymore. You just have to think about that. And even if people stand in your way and try and force you to not be able to love someone, you need to push them aside. Because if they won't let you love someone, then they aren't, I don't want to say they're not worth loving, because that's not true, but they're not worth as much love. They're not worth your time, I guess. And yeah, love is fucked up, but it's beautiful. Love is something that can heal you or hurt you. It's something that can put out the fire or make it bigger. It's so unpredictable is the best word I could say. It's unpredictable. And I guess that's that. I don't really have anything else to add. Just love yourself and love everyone around you. Don't give up on people, and they won't give up on you. And just, yeah. That's all. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't really know how to end this, so I'm just gonna end it, because I could keep ranting all day. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.